Alrighty. Welcome. My name is Max, aka OGM Prod, aka our generation's music producer. Thanks for tuning in. This is probably like my friggin' third take doing this. Ran into a bunch of audio issues, but we're here. I'm here to bring you another tutorial. How to mix your own vocals. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna teach you the secret sauce that I like to use to make my vocals sound nice like how they do in my songs. So, excuse me. So if you like how my vocals sound in my songs and how I make other people sound, then stay tuned. This isn't the absolute way to mix vocals. This is just what I do. So I thought I'd share some of my techniques, and you can take what works for you and just leave what doesn't. So let's get into it. First things first, let me switch the screen. All right, now we're in FL Studio. Shout out man C Notes. This is his beat. I'm doing in this lesson today, I'm gonna dissect my mixing for my featured verse. So this is perfect because when you do a featured verse, it's pretty much only vocals, right? So this is his beat. Like I said, it's a dope beat. And first things first, you want to get everything right. Load your beat in, set the BPM right. Turn on your microphone in the program, add any effects that you might have, and then figure out where you're gonna record at. So I know that the verse is here on this side. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna record at. There's a 16 bar verse here. So this is 4 bars. So this is 4, 8, 12, 16. So I'm doing the last 16 on the song. The full song will be out probably in August or something like that. It's July right now when I'm recording this. So follow Mancy Notes on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, Apple Music, of course, and you'll be able to hear the song. But I got lots of songs with them out. And basically, yeah, I'm going to go over how I do all my vocals. I'm not a professional audio engineer, but I do know enough to just make it sound right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you guys what to do. So first things first, before you even get into actually recording anything, you want to do a few things first. Like make sure you capture good vocals to begin with. You don't want to record it in a loud room. You want to make sure it's quiet. Like tell the homies to be quiet, and like mute the TV, like all that. Like have people put their phones on silent, all that. Like you don't want to like spit a really good take and then boom, someone's phone goes off in the back and now it's ruined. That is the worst when that happens. Trust. Engineer's gonna be pissed too because you're gonna have to redo it. So then, like I said, this is just you're recording your own vocals, so you probably don't have an engineer. So, like I said, make sure the room's quiet. Find a good distance from the mic, Don't be like super close on it, but also don't be far away. Like figure out where's a good distance so you have good levels. Good levels just means good volume, right? So check the volume setting on your mic. Like make sure it's not too low. Make sure it's not too high. Generally nowadays, most audio interfaces, like if you have a Focusrite, it'll have like a little LED around the knob for your volume. And it'll usually flash green if the vocals are good. But like I said, you don't want to turn it up too high. You just want it to be good enough. Because we're gonna make it sound louder with all the effects that we use. So yeah, make sure your levels are good. Check your mic, make sure the cable's good. If the cable's bad, and you can tell the cable's bad if you're hearing like little crackles in your take or like little pops. You'll be able to see it too in the waveform. And at that point, yeah, you got to get a new cable. The cables I like to use are Mogami cables. I probably had the same cable for 10 years, bro, and there's never been any issues with it. So I would say it's worth it to invest in like a good cable at least. Like maybe you could get away with like maybe not the most expensive XLR mic, but I wouldn't cheap out on the cable. Make sure you get a good cable. That's just what I do. And then, before you record it, make sure you practice your verse a couple times, right? You don't want to just go straight into the booth and like you're practicing it like for each take, like take by take, like that's your practice. Like, nah, the engineer gonna be hella pissed, bro. Or like even if it's yourself, right? You're gonna be wearing yourself out if like you have to set record and do it like 10 times because you keep messing up. Like, just keep playing the beat, spit your verse, make sure you can spit it like, you know, 90-95%, preferably 100% of the way, and then you know, then go record it. Like, I know a lot of people punch in nowadays. You could do that, but you know, just get to a point where you could spit what you need to spit, you know, rap what you need to rap, and then record it. Because you don't want to wear yourself down, because then it's going to impact your performance. Because that's the whole thing as well. When you're recording yourself, you need to coach yourself to get the best performance. So you can do that by, you know, making it easy on yourself and not having to re-record the same bar like 10 times, because it's going to get old. So, like I said, boom, now you're ready to record. Okay, so you'll record, and then the take will pop up, right? It'll be here. I put 2 takes and like 1 ad-lib layer, but for the most part, boom, your take will show up after you record. You know, if you don't know how to record, click the track that has a microphone on it, right? For me, it's input 1. So make sure that track is selected in the mixer. Then you click this red button, and then you click this audio into playlist as an audio clip. And then before you click that, make sure this button is clicked, the countdown. So that way when you go in, or also before you record, like give yourself 4 bars before the spot where you're going to come in at, so that we have some lead time. And then make sure your mic's selected, hit record, audio into playlist as audio clip, and then boom, it's going to count you in. I'm not going to record it right now, obviously, because I already recorded it. So yeah, my takes here. Generally, you know, a lot of times when you record, it's going to look smaller like this. I'm going to zoom in here. But yeah, generally the take, it's going to look kind of like this. Like the waveform's not going to be up here, or it's not going to be really that loud. But that's okay, because like I said, we're going to make it louder in the program. So you can do it 2 ways. You could do it by volume here, which I did. Or you could do the boost knob, which is this right here. And this basically makes it louder also. But in this case, I just used the knob on the actual clip, and then I just moved it up. So the key here is you don't want to make it too loud to where it looks like that. It's going to sound horrible. And then when you get it, if you record and it looks like this, that's also kind of bad, but you might be able to work with it. The issue here is like if you record and it looks like this, or like even smaller, the issue here is like when we go to boost it, it's going to require more work to make it clean, because when we boost it, it's also going to boost all the quiet noise. So that's why I said it's important to get a good take initially. So that way, you know, it's not as much work. It's not like I'm saying, not like being in a lazy way, but like it's going to be easier for you to make your vocals sound nice when you take a good vocal recording at the very first step. So we've recorded our take, we've boosted the vocals a bit, right? And the key here, like I said, don't make it too loud. What I like to do is these little peaks on the waveform, those are called the transients. And what you want to do is just make it loud enough to where the transient is hitting the top of either the top here or the bottom here. Just do either or. Like, it doesn't have to be both of them, because like I said, we're gonna make it louder. And if you do it too much, it's gonna make the take sound harsh, because what those peaks represent is in the words when like it has the sounds like the T's and the S's and the P's. Like those noises from the words are very like harsh kind of, and it shows up here. So there's ways to adjust for that, and I'm gonna go over it. But anyhow, right, so we recorded our take, we boosted the vocals a bit, right? And I'm gonna play it, I guess I'll play it with no effects on it, so that way we can see how it goes. I was gonna play it with all of it, but I'll make you wait. So we get the take, right? And then I didn't go over this, so my bad. So when you record, like I said earlier, you could usually record with effects on it. So I usually only record with a compressor on it and auto tune. So essentially, the compressor, you don't want to go too crazy with this. I see a lot of people putting their compression up really high, but I generally don't do more than like 2.5 to 1 on the ratio, and that's like maximum. Generally, I think on this one I had it at 1.7. And then the attack, I leave it at 0 so that, you know, the compressor affects it right away. And then the release, I think this is just normal, but you can, if you're rapping fast, you might want to lower the release. And if you're like rapping slower or like kind of singing, you might want to make the release longer. For the threshold, I have it at negative 17.2. So basically this means that anything that comes above this threshold is going to be affected by the compressor. So you're going to have to play with this a little bit and see what works for you to where to set the threshold at. But in this case, I'm setting it here. And then after you do all of this, it's going to make it quieter. You're going to notice like, well, my take's becoming quiet. That's normal. That's just part of compression because it's like, it's basically, you know, compressing the vocal, making the loud parts a little bit quieter and making the quiet parts a little bit louder. In essence, it's like reducing the overall dynamics of your waveform, but this is in a good way so that the vocals become louder. So like I said, when you add compression, it's going to become a little bit quieter. So to combat that, just add some gain here. I just put a little bit because like I said, we're going to, oh, you can't see it. Like I said, we're going to add more as we go. So, and then the type, you could pick whatever, but I just have it on vintage. And then for my auto-tune settings, this is going to go over this really fast, but I have Antares auto-tune. You want to set the input type to your voice type. So if you have a soprano voice, set it for that. I have mine set on alto. And if you have a low voice, set it for that. Set the key for your beat. Like match the auto-tune key to the same key of your beat. So that way the notes snap in place when you're rapping. And then up here, don't mess with the transpose or the detune. But the tracking is probably going to be 1 when you open it. But I like to put it at 100 so it makes it faster. For the reto speed, I put it at 0, flex tune 0, humanize 0, and natural vibrato -12. These are settings that I like to use to make it to make the auto tune effect like really noticeable. That's just how I like to do my vocals. If you don't want it to sound super auto tuney, you could either tune the speed down or put it up. I mean, I don't know, however you want to look at it. And then you could also add some humanize factor, but I just leave those alone. And then you could also mess with the vibrato. Like I said, these are just my settings. You could mess with it how if it's your voice. So boom, that's what we record on. We recorded our take, we boosted the volume, and now it sounds like this, right? Oh, you can't hear it. It's muted.
We don't play to lose. I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play to snooze. I've been chilling in the dunes.
I had two
In
takes
the
on it.
sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this.
See, it sounds pretty good. It's a good take. I'm happy with that take, so I'll keep the take. But obviously, it sounds dry. There's no effects on it. Even though we recorded with the auto-tune, right?
We don't play to lose. I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play to snooze. I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon.
And it's keeping me in pocket in the pitch. And we can see that.
We don't play to lose. I've been working on some.
Well, you can't see it now because the auto-tune's muted, but watch if I... So the first thing I add in my vocal stack, this is my vocal stack right here. This is a preset that I've made over time. But I'm going to go through it and show you what it is. So basically, even though I recorded with auto-tune, I go ahead and throw auto-tune again back on it. And then it helps like put it in pocket like double well. I don't know how to describe that. But yeah, it basically makes sure that all the notes that I was kind of singing or rapping, it's going to make sure that they're all in pitch. So we can see that here. It's only going to snap to notes that are in E flat major, which is the key of the beat.
Like I got nothing to lose. Like
Hopefully you can hear
air
me
in
turn
a
on
hot air
vocals a bit.
balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose.
See, so you can kind of hear it. It accentuates the auto-tune, the auto-tune-ness, if you will, of the vocal. So it sounds pretty good, but obviously it needs more work. So the next thing I add is the SSL native Vocalstrip 2. This thing is like 3 things in one, but it's really good. Oh, that's interesting. Generally, I go to male. I use pop vocal male, but on this one, I didn't do that. It was already default. So I actually... the default setting is actually pretty good, but like I said, you're going to have to tune it for your voice. So in this case, yeah, I tuned this slightly for my voice. So like I said, this plugin, it has like 3 things in one. Like it's like it says compander, de-esser, deploser, and equalizer. So I guess you could say it's like 4 things, but this is the compressor side. De-esser and deploser, like those kind of work together to make your take sound less harsh. And then equalizer here to like kind of clean up or boost whatever you need. So the first thing you got to do is mess with the attack, release, ratio, threshold, and the gain. This is like the main part right here. And then these things right here are kind of like the fine-tune adjustments. You really don't even have to mess with the de-esser and deploser. The most that you might ever have to do is mess with the threshold. And then if you're getting really advanced, you might mess with the frequency. But the threshold here, just think of these as volume. And then equalizer, you know, equalizer. This is your low band, mid, and then high. So yeah, we're going back to do the compressor. Like instantly, you could tell it's working a lot. And it sounds good, right? Like this is what it sounds like without it.
Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose. But it's gonna
and this with it.
Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely.
Like boom, like instantly, it sounds so nice, right? Just with that one plugin. Like boom, this one's the sauce right here. This one makes it sound so nice, man. I love this plugin, right? If I had to only choose like one more plugin than Autotune, this one right here, bro. SSL Vocalstrip 2. The sauce. Okay, it is paid though. I'm not gonna say it's free, but you can pay like $20 a month and get all of the SSL plugins. And these aren't cheap plugins. Like these are really good. These are modeled after like real hardware, but the digital one's great. I love it. Anyhow, so boom. So we have the settings on that, and it sounds great, right? Like most people, if you're just mixing your own stuff, you'd probably just leave it, right? But we have the artistic vision for the vocals, and it's not done yet. So the next step, I just add another EQ. In this case, it's Red 2 EQ. You don't have to use this one, but they used to give this one out with Focusrite, but they don't anymore. I don't know. I think they have a new one. But anyhow, what this is doing is basically it's just a slight boost on the gain. I boosted it about 2 decibels, and then I put another high pass at about 130 hertz. And this just cleans up any low end that might be there still. And it just brings the vocals up a little bit louder, and I'll play it for you right now. Like I said, this isn't my beat. This is actually Mancino's. So shout out Mancino's. He sent me this beat. And this is just my feature verse. But anyhow, so this is just with the Autotune, the Vocalstrip, and the new EQ that's after it. So I'll play it without it, and then I'll add the EQ so you can hear how it is.
We don't play or lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't put a snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose. But
see, it gets a little bit louder.
Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely. And she lives far away. And I texted her, but seems like she don't wanna play. So I might check it up. Then I went to the mall, seeing like 20 girls who are hot.
So yeah, you can tell it makes the vocals a little bit louder. It kind of makes it a little bit harsher, but we're gonna get to adjusting that. So, you know, like I said, you can tune it to how you want. And low-key, just hearing this right now, I probably would mix it a little bit different. I probably would retain more of the low end and like not as much mids, because you could tell it kind of boosts the mids. But anyhow, it's fine.
We don't play or lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't put a snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose.
But it gives it more body, I feel like, if you could even say that about a vocal. It like brings it more to the forefront. Anyhow, so right, it sounds dry still. So boom, add the reverb. Now here's what it sounds like.
We don't play or lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't put a snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In
there's no
the
reverb.
Sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views
There's
of
with
life.
The reverb.
Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose. But it's got me fucked up, Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see.
See, now it starts to sound like a song, right? Because now the vocal, it doesn't sound so dry. The reverb helps it like low-key like sit in the song. And even, I know audio engineers will be like, no, the vocal's not supposed to sit in it. It's supposed to be like above it. I'm just saying like metaphorically, like don't take everything I'm saying like literally. I speak in a lot of metaphors or analogies or some shit. Anyhow, so this is what my settings on Vallhalla Vintage Verb. It's pretty much the stock settings. Concert hall on the mode, color 1970s. Sometimes I do this on the 80s, but 70s it'll make it sound warmer, 80s it'll make it sound darker. So I have it on 70s. And then I tune down the mix right here. So generally I don't go more than like 33%, and that's hella reverb. Like right here, this is 16%. And like you could hear it, but it's not like overly like over the top. That's without it. And then here it is with it. So right, it kind of fills in the little, I don't know, awkwardness of it sounding like a vocal. Right, so we're getting there, right? We're getting there. So boom, we have the reverb on there, and now boom, now the next thing I add is the delay. This right here is low-key the sauce too. The verb, the Vallhalla Vintage Verb is a good one, but this right here is low-key the sauce, bro. like this along with the Vocalstrip. I love those two vocal plugins, bro. Auto tune too. I can't lie. Anyhow.
We don't play the lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play the snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose, like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in. Right, that sounds dope. You can hear the echo, right? That's this plugin right here. This is the delay. So it's called Replika. It's by Native Instruments. You can get this VST. I have the setting right here set to straight and quarter note. So basically, the echo is going to happen on every beat. And I have the feedback at around 26.5% and the mix at 87 to 13%. And then I got the low cut up at 148 and the high cut at 13.9k hertz. And then basically that's to clean up any muddiness, because when if you put on a delay, it's gonna get muddy. But what I like about this one is that it doesn't really, I don't know how they do it, but at least with this one, the delay doesn't really happen until like the end of your bar. So then you get like a perfect echo. Like when I'll play it again so you can kind of hear it like with and without. Because some other delays, they'll just keep like echoing like while you're still rapping, and it makes it like super muddy. But this one's cool. I like this one a lot. And it also adds a little bit of like stereo panning effect. It goes really well with the reverb. I love this plugin. So I'll play it without it and then with it so you could hear it. Passionate. We don't play the lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play the snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose, like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon.
This is with it.
I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose. But it's got me fucked up, cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely, and she lives far away. And I texted her, but seems like she don't wanna play, so I might check it up. Then I went to the monster.
Right, it just sounds dope. I love that plugin. And how I came across it, it was a happy accident. Like, I was trying to find a different plugin, and I accidentally clicked on this one, and I just was playing, and then it just sounded dope. So I decided to keep it, and I was like, I'm gonna keep that. But Loki is like an homage to like the old Too Short songs, because I'm like from the Bay Area, so like I'm hella influenced from like Too Short, E40, like Richie Rich, like hella old ass Bay Area artists, right? But they're still dope. So I try to keep some of the art that they did alive today. So I do that in my vocals. I put this delay. So in some of Too Short's older tracks, like he has like a mean delay on some of his vocals. It sounds dope though. So that's why I kind of do it here. Plus I like how it sounds. So like I said, that is done through Replika. This is a great VST. So the vocals sound great, and usually about maybe like a year ago, that's where my vocal chain stopped at. But recently I've been adding more, for better, for worse. So I don't know, we're just gonna go through it. And here's the next thing is SSL Native X Saturator. This thing, it kind of makes your vocals a little bit louder and adds like warmth to your vocals and all that. I don't really mess with it too much. I just basically add some gain right here. I put like a decibel or two, and then if the vocal's too loud, you could use this knob right here. It's the input knob, and you can turn it down, and that'll give you some room to like add whatever you want here. But mainly the magic is done with this knob, and I'm just gonna put that back at 0. So yeah, I'll play it with and without it.
Passionate. We don't play lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play the snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type. So you know I'm trying to choose, but it's got me fucked up. Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely. And she lives far away, and I text her.
Right? It makes it sound louder, but it's like in a good way. And that's all due to the saturator. And that's pretty much it. You can use this on a lot of stuff. I like to use this on bass, like 808s or kicks. Sauce right here. This is low-key the sauce too. Anyhow, so boom. Next thing up, we got the Transient Master. And remember how I was talking about the transients earlier, and it's like the harsh peaks of the vocal? Well, this will help smooth it out. And you can do that by going to this attack knob and turning it down into the negative range. What I like to do is put it at like about -24. But like I said, for each song, you might have to tune it because your bars are going to be different every time. Unless you just spin the same bars every time. But no, I'm just playing. But yeah, this will help smooth out any harshness. And then you don't want to do too much here to where it's affecting the vocal in a negative way. You just want to do enough to where, you know, you're making it sound better. That's the whole key here, is like, don't add a whole bunch of plugins if it's going to make it sound bad. Like, you want to keep adding the plugins to like keep compounding a good effect. So we're here with the Transient Master. I'll play with it and without it.
Passionate. We don't play lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play the snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type. So you know I'm trying to choose, but it's got me fucked up. Cause I don't know what I'ma do. Cause
this is without it.
Rarely, and she lives far away.
This is with it.
And I texted her, but seems like she don't wanna play. So I might check it up. Then I went to the mall, seeing like 20 girls who are hot. Now it's
see, so it helps smooth it out. And then if you want to add like some more artificial like body to your vocals, if it's like kind of quiet or whatever, you you feel like you got to bring up the vocals, go to the sustain knob here in the middle and just add a little bit. I only did 3% because that's what I feel like it needed. And then you can also add a little bit here in the gain knob. I put 0.4 decibels, and then you can limit or limit. It doesn't actually like hard limit. Like if you seen over here, it peaked over 0 decibels, but I still leave it on, click it on. Anyhow, we're going to get a way to limit it later on. But anyhow, the next one after that is just another EQ.
passionate.
Just fruity parametric EQ too.
In the sands of time, like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life.
Without it.
Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type. So you know I'm trying to choose, but it's got me fucked up.
Is with it.
Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely.
So yeah, basically it's just a cut down here at like 20 hertz, and then a small cut up here at like 20 hertz to reduce any harshness again, to kind of just play off what the Transient Master before it was doing. And then the last thing I do is this right here. This is low-key the sauce also. This kind of helps lock in your vocals, right? It helps lock in kind of like the volume characteristic of it, and then you can kind of tune the decibel you want it to hit at to get it like technically loud, you know, like instead of like, because it could sound loud but not actually be loud, or like vice versa. So anyhow, what I like to do is make the vocal like decently loud, which is why there's like all these plugins, and then kind of fine tune it with this right here. This is the solid state Logic X Limit.
Passionate.
And basically what's happening here is this blue knob is a threshold, and this, which is this blue line, and this red knob is this red line, which is the ceiling. So like I said earlier, the threshold, anything that comes above this line is being affected by the compression, I think. Or maybe it's below it. But at least how I'm thinking about it right now and how I think about it when I'm mixing is that anything that comes above this line is being affected. And then the ceiling, you know, that's the ceiling. Nothing can go above this line. And then there's a few different settings here. You can mess with this, whichever sounds good for you. But I like to just leave it transparent. Sometimes you may have to add back gain, and that's what I did here. So I added like 2 decibels, but I'll play it without it and with it, so you can check it out, and then I'll kind of talk about it.
We don't play lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play the snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes, in the sands of time. Like I got nothing
Here's with it.
Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type, so you know I'm trying to choose. But it's got me fucked up, cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely, and she lives far away. And I texted her, but seems like she don't wanna play, so I might check it up.
Right? You could almost tell instantly, it like locked it right into place. And you know, it did make it a little quieter. And you know, if you want, you can like up the threshold. And now it's not as quiet, right? But I had the threshold kind of quiet because it's gonna get touched up by another engineer, so I didn't want to make it too loud because he's gonna make it loud anyhow. So anyhow, I just did it as best as I could. So this is just how I mix my vocals. So yeah, that last bit, it's this limiter right here, and that's kind of helps lock you in. And then I have another take here, and basically I just sent it to the same track. Sometimes I'll send it to another track, and you can do that too, and you'll get more adjustability over it. But I was just knocking this one out like pretty quick, so I just sent it to the same track. But the cool thing is, like, I'll play this for you real quick. This take right here is actually pitched down 200 cents. So essentially that just means it's pitched down like 2 half steps on the keyboard. And I did that because when I spit the take initially, it was kind of like the nature of the beat. Like I had to spit it kind of high in my register, and it was impacting like how I wanted the verse to sound, and I didn't really like it. So I just had this random idea, and I was like, let me just go to the pitch and like pitch it down and like see if I could find a pitch where like it's still in key. And yeah, I just pitched it down 200 cents, and then boom, it was in key. And I was like, I was singing along to it, and I was like, whoa, I can hit this pitch way better. So I'll play it without. So I mean, the whole point I'm saying that is like sometimes you might want to play with the pitch after you spit the take if you're not comfortable with like that note that you're holding. If it's like too high or if it's too low, you can mess with the pitch, right, and find one that's comfortable to spit, and then you can respit it at that level, at that like pitch that you pitched down the other take at, right? So that's what I did for the take that we just heard. It's crazy, right? Like that take's not pitched down, but it's according to the pitch of the pitch down take. And I'll play it pitch down and normal right now so you can hear it. See, it's pitched down, but it blends with the normal one. And it works perfect because the auto tune, it picks it up the same. See, so now the auto tune's not confused because both of these, I'm singing the same notes in both of these takes. And now the auto-tune can work and like tune both of these together, and it gives it that like uniform sound. It's really cool. It's a really cool effect. This is the first time that I've done that, so I'm low-key proud of that. I'm like, hey, this is a cool little technique. I might have to do this more often. But that's a low-key tip. If you made it this far in this video, sprinkle that. I just sprinkled the sauce on it. All right, so boom. I have the other take here, and then you might have to mess with the pan, like because you don't want, if you have 2 takes and they're, especially if they're on the same track, they're gonna be clashing a bit. So like pan one to the left, pan one to the right. It's gonna make your vocal sound wider, and it's just gonna make it sound better. Like it's gonna be, they're gonna have more room. Like even though it's sound and it's digital and you can't see it, like they still like low-key need like physical room. So like that's all we're doing really here is like we're shaping the vocals to like fit in the beat, but also add to the beat, which is cool. I mean, add to the overall song, right? Or add to your artistry, which is what the whole point of these lessons are, is like to teach you the technical bits so that you can go and be artistic with it. So like I said, I had the other take here. Let's just hear it without the pitch down.
We don't play to lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play to snooze. We don't play to lose, I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play to snooze, I've been chilling in the dunes. Like I got nothing to lose, like I'm floating in the air.
See, it's like I had to spit it hella higher. I was like, it was like, it was hard, dude. And then I was playing it back like hella times, and I'm like, I don't know if this is it. So like if you're doing that and you keep playing it back and you're like, I don't know if this is it, like try a different pitch. Like obviously you got to use a pitch that's in the key still, but just mess with it and then you'll figure it out. In this case, it was putting it down 200 cents. So I just sent that same vocal take to the same track as the other one. So they're both on track 4. And then my ad lib is actually also on track 4. And this is just me going, yeah. So you can add little things like that, just to your taste. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much my whole process for doing vocals. And this is my featured verse for Nova Ray with Mancinotes. And that song's probably going to be coming out in August. Like I said, go follow Mancinotes on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all the spots. And yeah, I'll play this one more time with everything on it. And shout outs if you made it this far in the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Share the video to anybody who might be helped out by this information. And then, yeah, just leave any feedback in the comments. Or maybe if you want to see me talk about something else in FL Studio. If you have any, suggestions on future lessons, leave them in the comments down below. All right, I'm going to play this. And I gotta dip out.
Up in the morning, I've been getting after it. They hate snooze. I purposely living and feeling.
Oh fuck! I'm not supposed to leak it. And I had the other thing muted. Okay. Here we go.
We don't play to lose. I've been working on some tunes. I said we don't play to snooze. I've been chilling in the dunes, in the sands of time. Like I got nothing to lose. Like I'm floating in the air in a hot air balloon. I was chilling in, taking in the views of life. Then I seen this girl, and I feel like she's my type. So I'm trying to choose, but it's got me fucked up. Cause I don't know what I'ma do, cause I see her so rarely. And she lives far away. And I texted her, but seems like she don't wanna play. So I might chuck it up. Then I went to the mall, seeing like 20 girls who are hot. Now it's got me fucked up, cause I think it took myself for the search. Stop.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I'm our generation's music producer, OG Prod. Follow me on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Thanks, guys. We got more lessons on the way. Peace, peace, peace.